In the video you're about to watch, I sat down with a fitness coach doing around 2 to 3K per month with his fitness business. And we run through the entire step-by-step strategy to double his business in the next 90 days. The issues that he was having and how he can unlock it from a content perspective, from a lead generation and sales perspective, to double his coaching business in the next 90 days. I'm releasing this video because I think it'll be useful for a lot of people that struggle with content, sales, lead generation. So strap in, listen to the conversation that's coming up, because a lot of the stuff we talked about in terms of sales, lead generation, and content will be particularly helpful for your business as well, most likely if you're in a similar category and you want to grow it and scale.
Well, I've been putting a bit more polls on my stories, and like last night I was talking to a few people, just finding solutions for the emotional eating, food, nutrition. So one guy's going to get back in touch with me. I'm going to check in with him on Monday. The other guy, he was just a long-term friend, but he likes to have his nail there. We have a bit of a chat, just see where he's at, you know? So, yeah, it's okay. I mean, my coach said, my mentor, he says, why do you try doing voice notes instead of just texting? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do voice notes. I've just been doing some content, so I've just uploaded stuff on my Instagram, been updating that as well.
Yeah, it sounds like the main thing that's kind of potentially needs tidying up is just a lead gen. It sounds like clients are staying on. The sales is good. It's just like getting more leads for the door for the content.
Yeah, I mean, last week my mentor said it sounds like a trust authority issue. So this week I've been really hammering on the stories, talking about my experience, building. I feel like I'm building a lot more trust and developing authority in what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I wanted to like usually for these calls, what's useful for people the most in terms of feedback is just for me to share my screen and just run you through some ideas as to like what you just maybe see firstly what you're doing, and then run you through some ideas. Like we might not have time to go super like in detail into it, but like what would be useful, or usually what I do with people on these calls is just go what's the big idea of the content, how can we get more people to kind of know about it to move forward. So does that sound good? I think it'd be useful if we work through this sheet and you have a bit of a strategy that you can work out by yourself kind of after the call.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool, perfect. So in terms of the social media side of things, do you have like a big, like, is it mostly like health related that the offer? Like what's the big like idea of the offer? Like who do you kind of mostly want to work with? Who do you help? How does that all kind of look like, I guess?
What I say on my bio is that I help people break emotional eating, binge behavior cycles with my inside out method.
Emotional eating and like binge eating type behaviors. What's the method called again? Sorry.
With my inside out strong method.
Cool, amazing. How have you been finding that? Like, people kind of inquiring about it? Is it quite easy to start conversations with that, or what's happening currently?
It's easy to start conversations for sure. I show people, you know, and sorry to answer your question. No, I'm not getting a lot of inquiries. No.
Cool. Is there anything you can pinpoint to why it might not be happening?
Maybe I've not really pushed the inside out strong. Well, no, I have. I've done quite a number of reels about what the inside strong method entails. About we do a full audit about your eating. I've got three brand pillars I use. So first is habit forming. Second is mindset and development, and the third pillar is identity and ownership of who you are in the third month, because it's like a 12-week program. Yeah.
Cool. And then the 12-week program, I think from our first call you mentioned it's quite like heavy one-to-one like work. It's like one-to-one coaching, or
It is one-on-one online coaching, yeah.
what do you charge for this one?
£500.
Cool. And then I'm guessing you split that if they can't do the 500 in one.
Yeah, we can do split payments with Klarna, yeah.
Cool. Okay, perfect. That's cool. That makes a lot of sense in terms of where that is. Like one big thing that comes to mind for me, I think would be useful is like you've done a lot of like the legwork here with this is a 12-week program. There's 3 pillars around it all, and it's clear what you do. But I think what would be useful is if we can like maybe from the call, maybe see if we can dumb the idea down a little bit so it's really simple for people to understand what that is. Because if it's like super simple, so like we know we break emotional eating and binge eating behaviors, but if we can go like even a touch layer, like a layer deeper on it, it's like even like we can understand how or what the unique thing is that's very different, and like or how, what kind of workload is required to do it. So like for example, if someone, it's not the same thing, but if someone wants to lose weight and they're considering doing keto, they kind of know what they're going to get from that diet, if that makes sense. So we almost want it to be like the name of the program to give people a bit of an idea of like, you know, like even in, you know, like even like you can lose weight with intuitive eating. People know, okay, cool, I can do it by doing this. Like roughly know what tasks are involved to do it.
Yeah. So should I mention it's a 12-week program, or
what is the journey quite similar for people? Is it quite similar, like if someone signs up and pays, like first you do this, then you do this, like is the journey, what's the journey like after?
It's a repeatable system. So the first 4 weeks is a very repeatable system of forming habits. Firstly, it's getting some exercise in. So regularizing going to bed, getting up at the same time, getting some exercise 3 times per week minimum, and then tracking food. No diet, just food tracking.
And food tracking. Do you think we can, I'm just thinking out loud, do you think we can turn this into like an equation a little bit? So like people, we can say in this, we can help it all, helping people break emotional eating with this system. And this is going to take you no more than this like X amount of time per week, or is it hard to get that across? Is it hard? Can it be the same for everyone where like you can achieve this in this amount of time per week? If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's just finding the right words to frame that.
What would you say it like realistically would take per week, maybe for people to?
Okay. Realistically, if you did 3 hours per week of training, that's the biggest shift.
Yeah.
For the first 4 weeks is adding 3 hours a week into your life goal, working out.
Cool.
Doing some form of exercise.
And then I would guess this one is quite minimal. Like it's probably going to be like 5 minutes extra per meal for someone just to track or take a picture of their food.
Yeah, simple, very simple. Just I don't want to know calories. I tell them just send me pictures of your food, or if you want to track it, just put it into MyFitnessPal or the app that I use. Simple as that. I just want to see what you're eating.
Yeah. So like this is what I think would, if we can kind of go a little, like if we can keep going a little deeper on it, it will make it easier for them, for the content and the marketing to get people inquiring. So like here's what I'm thinking. I think if we can lean a little bit more in the bio and then also the content you're creating of like, you know, what if you could, if you're currently having this problem, what if I told you you could, you know, start making progress away from that in as little as 3 hours per week, as an example, with this system. I think if we can kind of like put the goal of it, like the goal is like we'll help you, or I'll help you break emotional eating and binge eating behaviors, and you can do it in as little as 3 hours per week, for example, or 4 hours a week or something like that. If we
just on my Instagram page, and it says word for word verbatim: break emotional eating, burn body fat, and take back control. Build a lean, strong body with my Inside Out Strong method. Now, I think that can be rephrased.
Yeah, I agree. Is that the
Really
bio
good.
here? I pulled it up.
Yeah, that's the bio. Yeah, that's it
Cool.
right there.
Yeah. So I think we need to lean more with like the bigger, like the 12-week kind of, even if the problem we solve in the first 12 weeks is smaller, it'll still be like, one, it'll still be attractive to people, but it'll also feel more realistic. So like if someone's been struggling with like binge, do you talk about binge eating much, or is that like a bit of a
Yeah,
grey? Okay.
yeah, I've got quite a few posts talking about dopamine hits, binge. I do a lot of it's on my stories,
Okay.
just to provide little nuggets of information for people. But yeah, I've got a lot of videos talking about struggling, food feels scary, the 9 p.m. Crash, discipline, willpower, more control not being the answer. My own experience as a bodybuilder, things holding you back.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what we need to do from a lead generation perspective is like turn more of it into almost like one system or one thing that people can kind of keep pointing back to. So like
Yeah.
if we can, because at the moment the bio is good, but it's like it's quite broad at the same time, and it's
Yeah,
not
it's a
like
bit
yeah,
broad. Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
not
I
like
feel the same.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I do think if we can have like, and it will help get more people like raising their hand a little bit more. So it could be like the problem could be like, if you have an emotional eating or binge eating problem, one or like both, or like we can condense, like we can see what people come to you for most,
yeah,
and we can have that as a problem, and like you can solve it in as little as 12 weeks with this thing, and like we can even like work back and make the problem like realistic to solve, so it doesn't have to be like in 12 weeks. We don't want to overpromise. If it's a smaller promise and it's achievable, people will be like more interested by it. If we
yeah,
say
yeah.
something too broad or too big and not achievable, that doesn't feel achievable.
So if we say break emotional eating and binge behavior in as little as 3 hours per week, or within 12 weeks using my inside out strong method.
Yeah. I think this is much stronger in as little as 3 hours per week with
So break emotional eating. I'm
emotion.
just in my edit page
Yeah.
right now, so I can pretty much
Yeah.
do it all the time. Break emotional eating.
3 hours per week with my side out method system framework.
And food. I put food binge.
Yeah. Emotional eating.
In 12 weeks. Break emotional eating and food binge in 12 weeks with my inside out strong method.
Yeah. So I even had like something similar. It depends on how you want to frame it. Like the only other thing I'm thinking of, and this might be just maybe for you to ponder over today, because you'd get more ideas and more conversation that you've spoken to people will come to you. We can even just lead with like one or the other. So we can say in as little as 12 weeks, or we can even just say in as little as 3 hours per week. It should just be like the whole promise should be more to get conversation started, you know. So like even if you feel comfortable, you can even say like you can do it in as little as 3 hours per week without saying it's a 12-week thing.
Yeah, that sounds good. So let's write that. Food binge in 3 hours a week. Break emotional eating and food binging in as little as 3 hours per week with my inside out strong method. PM strong, and let's begin today.
Yeah, I think this is much stronger. Like the whole thing of this should be just more like have it in a bio, but have like the whole thing you do is like be the guy that does this thing, like does the inside out method, like that's the guy that's going to break emotional eating. That's kind of what, like, it's easier if people start remembering if you just for that one idea and you just kind of like keep beating the drum of like slightly different angles and like slightly like the different three pillars you have, and you just keep pointing everything back to that. You'd be surprised how much like easier the conversations flow, because you can even point that in the stories today and just say, like, if you haven't done this recently, you could do like a story which is like, what if I told you could do this in as little as 3 hours per week? Would you be interested in knowing how? And then you explain it in the chats, and you try and get people to come to you as opposed to you chasing as much in the DMs.
Yeah. No, that's a great way of doing it. Yeah, it just gives me a lot more ideas of how I can present my method, doing the stories and stuff, and even making a couple of reels about it.
Yeah, exactly, Dan. It'll make it easier because you can kind of keep pointing back to it, and then like in different, like, and what we can even do, like if we want to get more technical with it, like we can even look at like your top performing video content recently, or like any video you've done or content you've done. We could look at like what's had the highest engagement, and then we can recreate that and then just change the call to action at the end to be like recreate this high performing video and just put a call to action at the end again. And like the call to action is comment, oh, by the way, comment below if you want to see how this system works. It's going to help you do this and this.
Yeah, I'm coming away from using trigger words now as well, because I'm trying to make it myself a lot more relatable to people who are watching it. So it would be like, drop me a message if you need help with this, or drop me a message, I'll show you how my inside out strong method works for you.
Yeah, I think an easier way to do it, maybe from a content perspective, just to get the content organically to generate more lead flow, is like maybe are you posting every day? Like,
yeah, I'm posting every day. Yeah. Since the last 2 weeks, I've posted every day, and my views have gone from 25k to 27.2, something like that.
Cool. Is that on the professional dashboard, like here, like how many views you get on the phone? Cool.
Yeah, I've got professional dash. Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, what I'm thinking from a content perspective is, because we can have like a similar this very similar offer, but it's just the reels, maybe one every, like you just rotate them. So one, like for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you speak to this or avatar, which is the men.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, like every other day you do the one for the women, and you do every other day for the men.
Yeah.
I feel would make it easier, because you could be more like specifically speaking to them. I think when you try and speak to both at once, it's hard to like really call out the pain and just get them to comment or get them to say, I want this thing, because you can't really call out the pain, or you can't really use their language as much.
Sure. No, that's true. Yeah, because if you look at it, it becomes mixed messages.
Yeah. So like that would be like an easy thing potentially that we can look at. Like that's one thing you can do. Like the other thing is maybe more in the future, as we get to the get some 20 active clients more in the future, we can look at like the trends and see if you prefer or enjoy working with one person more. At that point, you can also just do one type of content if you wanted to. But I think for now, I
prefer both, because I've had both genders in the last year.
Yeah.
Okay. For case studies that I've worked with,
Yeah, I think in which case keeping both, but just maybe keeping in mind of like when we're creating the videos, you can be much more specific with the pain or the problem that they have and where they want to go. So I would say from a scheduling perspective, that would make life a lot easier for you. So like if we hook these videos as like, if we structure the videos the same really, but we can just have different things of like, what's the hook? What's the lesson we're giving? You might be doing this, I think you probably are already doing this, but what's the lesson and what's the call to action? That would make it easier. The hook, we just like keep it super simple, just call out the problem. Like if you're struggling with this, or if you're fed up being here and you want to achieve this, or if you're currently binge eating and you want to get out of it, here's what you can do. Simple lessons, that they can just apply right away, and then always have a call to action of some sort, just to get people to comment on, to ask for the thing. So it can be like a soft call to action, like I've just put together this blueprint or this cheat sheet, if you just want it. Anything you give to your clients or anything you have already built can be that. Yeah.
I've started doing that. I've got an emotional eating blueprint. It's very simple, very basic. It's just some I just made that up. It's on my Beacons link, and also I can just I've downloaded the PDF so I can just whack it out to people manually.
Yeah. Anything that also like does some of the work for them does really well as like an offer as well. Like AI tools, like AI, like I don't know if you've seen how to do those. Like just build out like a very simple like GBT, like a GBT tool, for example, like a Chat GPT tool. So like I'm just thinking for your lead magnet, you can even do like, if you're struggling with emotional eating or like binge eating behavior, there's a few things that you need to work out before you know where to go with it. Use this custom like GBT I've built, and it'll work out where you need to go and what you need to do. For example, it'll give you like some kind of quick value that they can just go off and implement. So less information, but more like, here's the thing done for you. Does really well for these kind of
That's offers. A good idea. I like that idea. Yeah, I really do like that idea.
Yeah, because like I think the unfortunate thing with social media and what's happened is like the behavior of, I don't know if you were doing much like Instagram stuff, but like during COVID, I was personal training, and what I think was happening is you could get away with doing like really heavy like blueprints, like cheat sheets and Bibles and like all of this stuff. But I think now there's just so much information, people just want more of like as close to I'll do it for you as possible. So if like we have any AI tools or even like any guides that people can just be like, you know, here's what you can do now, here's what you can do now, or here's how you can do it. Like even if it's like a short thing, a very very short problem, like a very like they feel this problem today, it's a very small problem, like they're like lacking energy, they're always drinking coffee in the morning, they have no energy. Like try this and you have more energy within the next few days or in the next 24 hours or 40 hours. Stuff like that does really well from like a lead magnet perspective and getting more conversation started as well. So I would really like lead with this as the big idea here. So like I would lead with the big idea being like helping you get away from, like, well, I'll paraphrase it a little bit, but you have the more bullet point version, helping you get away from binge eating in as little as 3 hours per week. And then here you have like the 3 pillars you already have. So you have like the 3 pillars. One was, did you say mindset was one of them?
So we've got foundation and control. That's habit forming.
Yeah.
Phase 1. Phase 2 is build and push.
Yeah.
So we'll look at your progressive training. We'll look at your mindset over hunger versus habits. We'll look at recovery, sleep, and stress management. And I just do an audit of where they are after the first month. And then phase 3 is ownership and identity.
Yeah. Amazing. So
that sound good?
Yeah. I think potentially this is what I think with this. I think we can do something similar to what we did with this one. If we can, in my opinion, we can still keep this as like the thing when people join a program. People join a program and you show them like the 3 phases, and you can go really deep on like what they are and how they work. But from a content perspective, to get it to generate more leads, I think we can just make it a little bit simpler to understand and a little bit like a touch more concise and sexier if possible. Like even like someone like that has no idea, that isn't even struggling with binge eating, would understand what they are. So it could be like as an example of someone like a client that does this, it could be like, one could be like you know, it's a general weight loss program for Muslim men, for example. We have a client, and then the 3 pillars could be like, the first thing we do is we work out exactly how many calories you need so you can like get to your result in as little time as possible. The second thing we do is we do this so you can achieve this. I think if these can be a little bit more aligned to, like, if you think about like a more unique name to them, so they have a unique name, have a unique name to them, and then you want to say like this thing, like insert name.
Okay.
So you can achieve this, and you can always talk about these in content then, and then become like so you can achieve X, and these become like this like lead generation kind of tool for you. So like the one you have now is okay, like foundation and control, but I would hazard a guess to say a lot of people use this already, a lot of coaches to some extent.
Right.
So if we can have like something that's a bit more unique to your program, so like if you're helping people get away from binge eating, the first thing you might want to say is like, this might be an idea, and you might get some better ideas, but you might say like, the first thing we do is we have this optimization phase, and in the optimization phase, it means that you can hit the ground running as fast as possible. You have your tailored plan. You can get in the gym just a little, like you can literally start making progress just by taking pictures of your food or just by like logging it, and then from now we'll work out your custom thing. It becomes really unique, and I almost think no one else has it, and then you're not competing against other coaches, you're just like one of one, like your system, your process, your thing is one of one. And then the cool thing, if you have all of these three built out, is you can always have these as mini offers in your stories and your content, where like here's this problem, like this is literally solved in my method. You know, this is the first phase, this is the second phase, and so on.
Yeah.
I would do that for all three, and then that's kind of almost just tidying up a bit more of like the whole pillars of the content, because if we have that, you can always relate back to it in the content, and now that will start getting people commenting, liking, engaging more, and then we can spark conversation with people that are coming through and are warmer than trying to find the colder people for it as well. That's where I'd go with it.
What about structure of the motivation? Is that too generic? No?
I think if it can sound like something that's been worked through, so it could be like structure over motivation. So you could even go like schedule. We build out your schedule. Like I'll build out your schedule for you or your calendar, so you don't have to do more than 3 hours a week, and you can still get results. The name would need to be something similar to that, like schedule optimization or schedule schedule of this, like schedule of high performers. I think it's not specific enough. It needs to be more health related, in my opinion, or binge eating focus. But I would do it like that, so it sounds like, and it is true, because that's what you do with clients. It's like, it sounds like you're sitting down, you're working with clients together, and that'll make it easier. I think people generally are more skeptical with like buying like online stuff, because it'll sound generic, it'll sound like it's templated, it wasn't specific. It's kind of the biggest objection I see people have, like fitness like customers have. So if we can solve that by like really making it clear that you sit down, you build phase 1, you build out phase 2, you build out phase 3, here's what we build out, and then by the end of the 12 weeks you actually walk away with like this whole calendar, this whole schedule. You start your day here, you have the whole thing managed and under control in 12 weeks, and you have an entire routine. I think something like that as an angle for you to really be really cool. And then obviously when people join, you can have the bigger goals anyway and set them out in the 6-month or the 12-month program after that.
Okay, I've just run someone through ChatGPT. So like you said about optimization, it's come back to me saying you could use the word standardize. Phase 1 is we standardize everything. Phase 2 is then we regulate. Phase 3, we move into progress.
Yeah, this is cool, because like you can even turn it into a graphic. You can be like, arrow 1 is here, arrow 2 is here, like, and it all kind of flows into the next. As long as you say like, the first thing we do is we standardize so we can achieve this, or so we can get you here. Something like that. More like benefit driven.
Yeah. So like basically saying, feeding back to me, we remove choice so results become automatic. You need more motivation, so you have fewer decisions to make. Regulate. If you can't control your state, you can't control your results. Progress. Your body only changes when performance does.
Yeah. And then you can, the sales are not an issue, but like even just having these conversations and just more pointing to it in the content, it will become easier to get people to actually raise their hand and want the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm guessing you have this anyway, but like what I would say, like immediate action points from working through would be like almost just clarifying and finalizing unique name and offer of the program, the 3 unique steps and mechanisms, just to be a bit more like this is the thing we solve, here's how we do it, and you can come up with a lot of like lead mag, like some very small. I think like big lead magnets are kind of dead. So if we go more like this is this small problem you have today, like this small concise problem you have.
I think the lead magnet I've got is about 3 or 4 pages.
Yeah.
Just very logo orientated, with basically just a week training plan, 3 day a week, standardizing your foods, just giving tips, basically a tip sheet.
Yeah. So like this one, I think you can even test taking this 3-page lead magnet and just say if you're like struggling with training because you don't know how much to train or what to do, I have this like really simple 3 day per week 3 day per week training plan. If you want it, you can almost like call out the individual problems. So you have training, nutrition, and did you say anything else you had on there as well, or just training and nutrition that it solves?
No, we talk about portion control.
Yeah, I would be testing like the 3 things in there. So portion control, training, and then also the nutrition. And then just saying if you have this problem, so if you're never consistent with your training because you try and do 5 days a week and you fall off and you miss body parts of your training because you try and do too much and 3 days a week is enough, I've built this thing. It will show you how you can train in as little as 3 hours per week or 3 sessions per week and get results. So you can do lead magnets to different avenues of this. You can do lead magnets to just the training, just the nutrition, or just a portion control as well. Would do quite well.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And then that's what I would start with this. So like the big issue we're solving is like just generating more leads. So just doing more of that here will make that easier, in my opinion.
Okay.
The other stuff you can look at after this, you might have this already, but I recommend having like this offer, so which you actually have perfectly built out, having this like lower ticket program offer, which is like £500 for 12 weeks. And then as people get towards the end, it'll be good to offer some kind of a continuation. You might do this anyway. Like
I do. I do a monthly recurring revenue. So if somebody pays in full, it's always good then to have them on MRR long term.
Yeah.
Because it keeps my finances aboard.
Yeah, it stacks things a lot more. I like it. That's cool. So like just doing more of that is good. The only other thing you can think about is like, what's the MRR version of this after they finish the 12 week?
179.
Cool. The only other thing you can do is potentially if you I like to have some kind of like a higher support version as well, just in case, because like what I find with clients is like probably around like 5 to 10% or 5 to 9% to be more exact. It's like you usually want to have like something that's more support version of something, like just always want to pay for the more expensive thing, you know. So if we have something that has more support in there, so it could be like they actually come to see you, or they have more calls, or they have more support with things, like whatever we can offer that's a bit more, they either come to see you or you just
I was thinking like having an extra call a week, so having not just having how I run my coaching right now is that I do the weekly check-ins on a Friday, and then on the Saturday morning they get a Loom video from me. So if they wanted the higher offer, they can get a personal weekly one-to-one coaching for, let's say, 30 minutes. I can go through some mindset work and task orientation work.
Yeah, this is powerful. Would that be on top of the loom, or would it be instead of the loom? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it like
I'd probably have that extra as a
yeah.
high ticket. Yeah, so they still get the loom video on a Saturday morning with my feedback and goals and plans for the week ahead. But if they wanted that extra, they can have the weekly personal one to call with me on Zoom.
Yeah, that's perfect. What are you thinking pricing is? Like, I don't know if you've worked out like your like hourly rate and where you want to get this to, but what would you?
My hourly rate is £37.50.
Okay, so maybe do like 70, 80 more on top of it per month if it's a 30-minute call.
Yeah.
Just an idea. So that option could be like, we could even go like 249, or even you can even go like, depending on how much you want to sell this and how, because I think what we don't want to do as we grow this is we don't want to have like loads and loads of clients doing these calls, because it'll be time consuming for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's entirely up to you. You can go super high, like not super high, but you can go like 249 to like 297 if you wanted to, and it would just be a good like anchor from a price perspective. Like when people, you can just show it to people on a call, and you can be like, you can have this option, but this one's the more kind of like, it makes this seem a bit lower anyway. So it's quite a good price anchor as well on that side of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can have other stuff included if you can think of anything as well, like anything more. If people ask for more stuff, you can also bolt that on. That's fine. So I think the biggest ones would be this, just to generate more leads. And then obviously, like the only other thing I can think of is, as people come in, it'll be good to maybe show them both options and see where they want to go with this. You can, if you wanted to, you can also have a 6-month version of the 12-week program, like
yeah,
a 6-month commitment.
Thinking about that. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So it would be good to have a 6-month version, for sure. I'd probably maybe price that at like $999, $997.
997, cool. So we can literally do that now if you wanted to. So you could literally go when people get close to the end of the program. It's really not. I think coaches usually get scared by this, and they're like, "Oh, if I offer the 6-month, it's too much of a. It's hard to sell this. If they say no to this one, it's hard to show them this one." But I don't think so. I think we can easily say, we can show them both in a call. So we can say like, if you think about it, any subscription software does, like subscription for anything does this. So you can say like, you can pay for 6 months, it's $997, or you can pay monthly without having to commit to the 6 months. And then the only benefit of this one, if they want to do this, is you save some money. I don't know how much they'll save.
I always start with the paid in full offers anyway. So I always start with, for the 12-week program, it's the full price.
Yeah.
And then I show up and let them think about it. And then they usually come back to me with an answer. And then I just say, that's absolutely fine. You can do it on Klarna. It's going to work out a lot cheaper, but there is a monthly option.
Yeah.
And I've had 3 people say, no, let's just pay for it up front.
Yeah. So like literally then I think not even show this one in. Just go straight into week.
Yeah.
I would recommend not even letting people get like right at the end, and then you book a call and just make them aware of this option when they're already winning and doing well. You can show them this option like in first 6 weeks, 8 weeks of the program when they've had a big win. Just make them aware, just book a call with them and just say, hey, you're doing really well. Here's a progress you've made. And then, do you want me to run you through how it continue after the next 6 weeks? Because we do also have this other option, and you show it to them on that point, and they might pay. Often they pay earlier anyway if they're like happy and they're winning. If we get to the end of the 12 weeks, we might have lost a moment when they've had a big win, when they're motivated, when they're excited anyway to continue.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's not like a big urgent thing, but another thing that does help selling these bigger longer programs is you can incentivize people a little bit more to sign up for this. So you can either give a small discount potentially. So there's 2 ways you can really do it. Like you can say like, if this is true and it's like genuine reason, you can even say to them on the call, like usually if people want to sign up on 6 months and they haven't done this initial 12-week offer, usually they'll be paying like 1,500. If this is true and it'd be like genuine, you can even price anchor it to this and say usually if people haven't done the initial foundation period, usually the price for the 6 months is 1,500, but you've done the first 6 weeks, or you've done the first 12 weeks, so we can discount this down to 997. So your initial £500 you paid, I'll discount it so you get this program for this much. Can be an easy way to anchor the price on this, but you can also give them a deadline. You can say if you want to have this discounted price, you can do it, but you just need to let me know by X deadline, and you can give a deadline for this to do that.
Absolutely.
Could be an easy way, because it then the conversation then becomes like you're saving money if you continue. You're saving this amount of money if you do want to continue on this. It feels like a genuine like thing. Like if it's true, like if there is like a legitimate thing of like you doing some foundation work, and it's like it would be more for setting people up anyway after the initial 12 weeks, that could be an easy thing. You can just show on an offer document and say, we've done a lot of the harder work now. If you want to continue, the usual price for non-clients is 1,500. If you do, I'll discount the 500 you already paid me, so you're only paying 997. Could be a way to do that.
Yeah, understand.
Cool, man. Anything else you wanted to go for? I hope that was useful.
No, mate, that was some gold nuggets right there, mate. You've fired my brain off again, so I'm really pleased with that. Yeah.
No problem at all, mate.
How long have you been helping doing this arena of coaching, mentorship?
Like in different formats. I started off like personal training, so I was creating content for that like 10 years ago. So you can see a lot of that on my Instagram. The mentorship, 4 to 5 years or so. Like it's really changed. Like we had like a really quite big team of like doing stuff and like an agency side of things of doing all of that stuff from. So it's kind of really changed. We've reformatted a lot of stuff in the last 6 months.
Yeah, the last 6 months, as we both know, the social media platforms have so changed. Algorithms have changed, the way people sell, just the skepticism of the world, the worldview of doing this online is just. When I started Facebook 2 years ago, I put out a post and I'd get three leads. I'd come 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago in the January, I put three posts out, and I signed up 5-6 clients.
Yeah, well, like that's the thing that's funny is like, I think during COVID and during lockdown when people didn't have anything to do, the fitness side of things I was doing back then like was significantly different, and I think that's the only thing I see. I think I see a lot of like people still like teaching that way of doing things, of like send messages, get people to reply, but like back then you could just do like it's similar to what you said. You could just do an Instagram post saying, I'm looking for 5 people that want to work with me. You could be not like, you didn't have to be specific at all. You could just say work with me. People would just assume it'll be some kind of a coaching offer and it'll come on board. If you do that now, more often than not, it will just like, you know, go on deaf ears.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we have to be a lot more savvy, and I think it's down to building out the content, like you said.
Yeah, building out the content, but like even just really spelling things out for people, like really spelling out like what do you get, like what is it you get that's different from everyone else, makes it a lot easier.
And should I be a lot more raw and authentic at the moment, because I've done all the B-roll things that I don't get a lot of traction. The last few posts that I've been doing, I have literally just been doing talking heads, standing with biscuits and chocolate bars. The last content I've done a split screen where I'm in the gym doing a leg workout and eating chocolate underneath it in the split screen, saying what dopamine hit you chasing. Very, very simple. And then just written in my own words the caption underneath.
I'm having a look now. I think this is what I think. I'll show you like my screen very quickly. I think like one thing I think we need to look at in general is this like a new studio, a new setup you have with the colors in the background, or is it always been like this?
That's just in my kitchen, yeah.
Cool. I think like some of this content, in my opinion, I think like with you training and stuff, I think we shouldn't. This is my opinion, my observation is I think we should make it a bit more uniformed in terms of like, well, with clients we look at like the avatar we're trying to go after and like what would they be drawn to. I think some of this might be a bit too harsh if we're trying to speak to people like with emotional eating and binge eating. If we have it, yeah,
if you look further down, where I'm dressed up in there,
yeah, I think this, yeah. How do you find that type of content? Does that do better?
I feel great. I feel natural. I feel like I feel like I have a more authoritative approach when I'm just relaxed and not in gym gear.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be the gym guy.
Yeah. Well, I think my impression is I think this is, and I get why you're doing it like that because that's your story and your your backstory is the bodybuilding and the shows and like getting in really, really good shape and like really pushing that. But I think if we go down doing too much content like that, it can push people away that are like scared to go to the gym or like still like trying to figure out like they're like that subconsciously that the beliefs of these people come back and they're like, oh, he's gonna make me like eat chicken and rice, like, you know, all of this nonsense, and it's really hard to get them to reprogram that away from them.
No, 100%. No, like I say, I've got no fear in trying new things. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying I'm going to push this one out and see what the traction base is, see what the analytics are telling me. And if it doesn't work, I'll leave it alone. I might even delete it because it doesn't fit the page. So
yeah, perfect. Also, man, I will have to shoot.